So we're back with another episode 12. I'm here with MT, business owner, successful man, and we're about to find out a lot more about him. So welcome to the podcast.
Nice to be here, bro.
Yeah. So in terms of you, just tell us a little bit of background from you, because I don't know too much about you. I've seen you online. I know bits and bobs, but I'd rather hear it from the man himself.
Okay, so I class myself as an Asian intellectual academic underachiever. Mouthful, I know, but was a smart kid in school, grew up in a rough neighborhood, a lot of crime, and the role models at the time were into crime, drugs, that sort of thing. Got myself into drugs, got myself in a lot of trouble, and ultimately in 2018 I was nicked as a part of a conspiracy to supply Class A drugs, which landed me a 7-year sentence.
Wow.
I did 3.5 years behind the door. Whilst I was in prison, I met a guy called Martin. And Martin, I speak about Martin quite a bit. So I met this guy called Martin, 52, he's an importer. He's finishing off a 25 stretch.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was telling him, listen, when I get out, they're not going to catch me. I'm going to move smarter. And he looked at me, point blank in the face, and goes, "You're coming back." I goes, "Why?" He goes, "Because this is an occupational hazard, mate. This is part of what we do." I thought, fuck. And I looked at him. His gut was hanging, wrinkly face. He just looked desperate.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, I don't want to be that guy.
What do you mean desperate to like get out there?
Yeah, because I felt for him because he knew nothing else.
Oh, yeah.
He literally knew nothing else. He wanted something else, but he knew nothing else. So I thought, okay, I've got around about 3 years left ahead of me. I need to develop myself. I need to create this new person, this new identity, step into that identity and give that to the world.
Yeah.
And so I started to study, read books, educate myself. And then once I got out of prison, went into PTing in person.
Yeah.
Did that for about a year, then went online. First 12 months I broke 6 figures online.
Wow.
Went into mindset because as my skill set developed, I'm one of those sorts of people, I can't sit still. Like I want to continuously learn. As I developed myself, started coaching mindset and then eventually business, and that's where I'm at now.
Wow, that's some journey. So what was sort of the key turning point with that there in your life to think, right, I need to get switched on now? Because by the sounds of it, you was in the cycle of actually wanting to stay in that life, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's glamorous, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never done it.
It's glamorous. It is glamorized. I wouldn't say it's glamorous, but it is glamorized.
Yeah.
And when you're in your 20s, you know, you're taught to be this lion, this fierce sort of individual as a man. And that gets you only so far. But recently I looked into what it actually means to be a lion.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you look at the lifespan of a lion, it's fucking shit.
Yeah.
So you come into the world as a cub and there's hyenas trying to eat you. There's other big lions trying to eat you. And then you go into this world where you become an adolescent. You're banished from the pride.
Yeah.
You go and scavenge for bits. Then you grow big and strong. You come and beat up the king lion. And then for 3 or 4 years, you get to eat the food first and fuck every female.
Yeah.
And then you're banished again and you die. So I thought, why the fuck would I want to be a lion? But that's kind of ingrained in us.
Yeah.
So for me, it was about switching up and understanding what it is to be a man, what a man actually does, and who I need to become going forward. And it does mean softening yourself. It does mean being a bit more diplomatic.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm very direct with how I coach and how I come across on social media.
Yeah.
Now, there's pros and cons to that.
Yeah.
You can't use a sledgehammer for every single job in the house.
True
Sometimes you have to use a screwdriver or a smaller hammer or whatever. And that only gets you so far. So for me, it was like developing my skill set, understanding myself as a person so I can bring that to the forefront and be the best that I can for the people I'm trying to serve.
Yeah, when sort of leveling up and changing the identity, what sort of resistance did you have towards getting that? Because I know you said you've done a lot of mindset training. Like, who was the main people who you looked at mindset-wise?
It was the books, man. It was the books for me.
Which books would you recommend for people watching?
So for me, it was, you've got to remember with all knowledge, it's interlinked.
Yeah.
You can find, the first book I read was Mike Tyson's Undisputed Truth.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first book I read. And I relate to Mike Tyson a lot because he had, you know, a turbulent upbringing. He's insecure in certain areas of his life, like I was as a kid. And that led me to The Count of Monte Carlo, which is a fiction book. Read about 3 pages of that. That was dog shit. But then you got to remember, when you read a book, you will find it will open up a loop for another book. Eventually I landed on the typical stuff, you know, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all these sorts of things.
Yeah.
But Rich Dad, Poor Dad was probably like the turning point or the fork in the road.
Really?
Because in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it tells you that you need to master 4 things, right?
Yeah.
So you need to master accounts, legislation, marketing and sales. Cool. So I went and ventured into those things.
Yeah.
So I taught myself accounts to a decent level in prison, as you do. Marketing, sales, and then obviously legislation, start looking at law.
Yeah.
Probably too late for that at that point. I wish I looked at them before, but yeah. So I started delving into that, and that led me on to other things. So when it comes to recommending a book, start where you think is best. I don't like book recommendation unless it's for a specific topic, but start where you think is best because it will open a loop, and that will be a cascade of other knowledge that you need to learn.
I think it's like the books what relate to you the most. Because like for me, the book what changed my life last year was How to Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
And I read that Rich Dad Poor Dad years before, and The Secret and stuff. Rich Dad Poor Dad had kind of clocked out, but I think the certain book resonates with you at a certain time.
Exactly, yeah.
And obviously I was going through like a period last year where my months were going down and down and down. And I started to blame the finger, thinking like, why is this happening? I had a mentor, Phil, who I'm still with now, was like, the mentorship shit, he's not doing anything for me, blah, 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 like you do. But then he said these key words to me, he said, what are you doing though? And I thought, because I said about leaving, and I thought, yeah, what am I doing? Because I didn't really get it at the time, but then I thought, what am I doing? And I questioned it. And I was going to the gym in the morning because I'll always go gym. That's just a part of my DNA. My dad's trained for 45 years. It's embedded. I've been in the gym since 2, really, in that environment. But I was going to the gym and I was consuming fights. Do you know, like fights on TikTok and all that, these fights? It's all negative, innit? And then when I was getting home after the day, I was watching like, I know it might seem nothing, but I was watching like Rocky 4, which is one of my favourite films, to be fair. But I was watching pointless stuff, what was meaningless.
Yeah.
And then obviously that affected the speech. I was speaking day to day, nothing's going right, being negative. And then that was a mirror image of my life then. So really it's within you, and then that's how you move forward. And that's what I learned within the book. You know, it says how to think and grow rich, but really it helps you how to understand how to overcome challenges. You know, and ever since there, obviously, I went from, you know, earning a certain figure and at times my monthly revenue by 4 in 5 months, just down to reading that one book. Because like you mentioned there about going on to different things and connections, my older brother, he's 39 now. Yeah. When I was 18, so basically he created a call centre.
Okay.
And it was all the way up to 6-figure months. I think he was doing like 10K months or something like that, doing these call centres, and it was like, wow. And then I remember coming around to my dad's like, I'm going to be a millionaire next year. I was thinking, wow, I was coming around in the nice cars and all this. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, what's happened here? Because it changed overnight.
Yeah.
And every time he hired someone, he'd give him the secret and he'd give it me. Not that hired me, but he just said, you need to read this book. So I read it and I took some things in, but then there was one page, I think, obviously, don't correct me with this, but it was like, I thought of £1 million and it come to me and I thought, it's bullshit that. So I clocked out. And then it was exactly 10 years later that he sent me a video of Bob Proctor when I was going through a rough time. And then it saved me, do you know what I mean? And it's mad. And obviously now I'm massive on the mindset. You know, I've spent thousands. I've just been to America, went to see that David Bias. That was class.
Yeah. I think with the mindset stuff, essentially what you're describing there is manifestation. And manifestation seems a bit woo-woo and a bit out there. But you've got to understand that manifestation is just an extension of biology, physics, and neurology. Yeah. And once you understand it as a science, it starts to make sense. Yeah. Are you with me? So I think when people say manifestation, they're a bit, whoa, that's a bit weird, you know? But it's scientifically proven, you know, and the key words in that book title is how to think. Yeah. The majority of people don't know how to think in a way that is going to be favorable to them. They don't know how to think in a way that's going to be detrimental to them. Yeah. But you are never taught to think in a positive manner because as human beings, we are, for the most part, negative in nature. Yeah, definitely. So overriding that is a difficult thing. Yeah. We aren't 100%. Built for success. I really do believe that. We are built to survive. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, as a species, okay? To stay away from the saber-toothed tiger, as they say. Yeah. But in this day and age, we do need to flourish. We have money now. We have things. I'm not saying it's the end all and be all. Yeah. I think it's a necessity, just like food and water at the end of the day. But ultimately, the more money you have, the more impact you can have, and the more fulfillment you have. Yeah. And then it throws up the conversation and the dynamic between impact versus money. Yeah. You can try to create all the impacts in the fucking world, right? But without the money, you won't feel fulfilled. Yeah. And vice versa. So you've got to have both. And I say impact versus income equals fulfillment.
Yeah.
You need both. Because I've met millionaires, multimillionaires, not billionaires, but multimillionaires, and they've got the same problems as somebody who's on the dole.
Yeah.
The same sort of things going on in their head. They're just unfulfilled.
Yeah, it depends what fills your cup, doesn't it, though? It's like I've been times in my life where, because obviously we're all like trying to get record months and targets and all that with business. I've had times where I've sort of lost my way down to that.
Yeah. And what caused that?
Basically just chasing the money, chasing the next record and a record month and all. And then you actually start to go backwards. But then I reverse engineered actually my purpose, because I used to sell plans for £10 7 years ago. Like, it was never about the money. So when I refer back to the actual purpose, the mission of Impact, that's what gets me more money than ever, and I change more lives, and things just start happening easier.
Yeah.
But I think it all starts with you and your habits. Like, you've had times when I've slipped out of habits. Maybe it might be training, going through the motion, slacking with the food or anything. Then everything goes on a decline.
Yeah.
So like now I'm absolutely flying because everything's in sync.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I think when you look at the most successful people in any niche, it's exactly that. Their success leaves clues, and they live a very, some people might say it's strict or rigid, but it's very regimented sort of life. And I think when you are regimented in that manner, that actually creates the freedom that you want.
Yeah.
You know, if you're just going to willy-nilly go about your day, might work for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But eventually you will see that downturn in your performance as a human being and individual. Yeah. Whether it's in terms of cognition or physical appearance or work or whatever.
Yeah.
It just won't be there. And one of the things I get every single client that works with me to do is, listen, we need to map out your fucking week. And yeah, it might seem basic and unattractive and boring and tedious, but I need to teach you how to think.
Yeah, you need structure as well, don't you?
Number one, I need to teach you how to think, because I'm not going to hold your hand through the process, but I want to know how you're living your life at the moment.
Yeah.
Because there's no point me giving you tactics and strategy and this, that, the other, when the foundations are shaky.
Yeah.
It'd be wrong of me to do so. And that's what I think a lot of people in the mentoring coaching space, they don't provide the tools early on enough. And then what happens with that is people will come into your program, they don't get a result.
Yeah.
You know, essentially what you were saying about your mentor.
Yeah.
Oh, this is shit. But really, you were the fucking problem.
I was shit, yeah.
You were the problem.
Yeah.
You know, and it's easy for people to go and point the finger.
100% it is.
But it's hard to point the finger at yourself and think, you know, what am I doing? Like you said, that question.
Yeah.
So you've got to, some people, you've got to equip them with the tool. I think the majority of people, you've got to equip them with these tools because you are not taught to do these things as a child in school.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't go to university. I did 1 year in college, which I couldn't be arsed with. Did poorly in school. You know, went straight on to doing what I was doing. Nobody taught me that shit.
Yeah.
Jail taught me that shit.
Yeah.
There's a set time to eat. There's a set time to train. There's a set time to sleep. There's a set time for everything. Prayer, everything.
Yeah.
Down, locked in to the T. Jail taught me that.
Yeah.
And what happened when I come out of jail? I was in the best shape of my life. I was sharp in between the ears.
Yeah.
I was positive. I was healthy. I was praying. I was spiritually in a good place.
Yeah.
Was that a coincidence? No. No. The structure inside prison gave me freedom.
Yeah, that's class.
It's
good. It's powerful, isn't it? Powerful stuff. In terms of going back to the sort of the jail times.
Yeah.
How did, because obviously, you know, I've never been in there, but I can imagine it's not a very positive place for some people. Like my brother went to there and he's a positive person, and you know, I spoke to other people who was with him and all that, and they said he was positive. He was always trying to lift them up and all that. And I can imagine there's a lot of people who are in the negative frame of mind. Was you in the negative frame of mind? And if you was, how did you sort of get out of that?
So I would say I'm a bit of a weirdo in the sense that when I got nicked and I was in the holding cell down custody, we were down there from Friday till the Monday where they took us to court, and I got remanded. In the first probably 12 hours, I was pacing the room, doing circles like a caged animal I was, right? Thinking, fuck to you, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Head was done in. I just thought back, I thought, who else has been caught with 2 kilos of cocaine? So I found a reference in my head. He got 8 years. So once I kind of decided I'm going to get 8 years, do 4, I went bed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When I landed in prison, I thought, okay, this is fucking real now. That was a different story. And I was like, this is home. This is home for the next 3.5, 4 years.
Wow.
Fuck. Then I started that process again. And then once I got sentenced, then it was like, okay, now I can settle in.
Yeah.
because it's up in the air.
And you done 3.5 years, did you do?
3.5 behind the door, yeah.
It's better than 8, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, in the UK, I don't know what it's like now. I think it's like 40%, but with certain offences, for the majority of offences, they give you, say for example, they give you 10 years.
Yeah.
You serve half of that in custody, and you serve the remainder in the community. So up until last year, I was still having to go probation and stuff and tell them what I'm doing with my life.
Yeah, wow.
I'm like, just follow me on Instagram, you'll see.
Yeah. Go to Dubai.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't allowed to fly up until last year.
Yeah.
So
You've been to Dubai a few times, haven't you?
Yeah.
Have you just come back from there?
You just come back. You see the tan.
I know.
Yeah, so I've been there 3 times over the last 12 months. I've been, I think, around about 12 months. Yeah. In that time, I've been Switzerland. I've been Croatia.
Wow.
I went to Palestine to do some humanitarian work. That was eye-opening. That changed me.
What was that?
So obviously, we're all aware of what's going on in Palestine and Jerusalem and that conflict there. I'm aware this is going to go on YouTube, so I'm not going to talk too much on that because you might get the video taken down.
Yeah.
But what I did over there was I went to do some humanitarian work in the refugee camps, hand out aid, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And there was one moment there where there's a picture of it actually where I've got this little girl. She must be 3 years old.
Yeah.
And she's hung on to me. And she's just playing with my beard, grabbing my ears, right? Beautiful little girl she was. And I was speaking to her father through an interpreter, obviously. And I was just getting a understanding what their living conditions are like and what it's like staying on this camp, basically.
Wow.
And the land that they were living on was being rented from the Jordanian farmers. And I was like, okay, so you rent this land. Bear in mind, you don't want to be here. You've been kicked out of where you were previously. You can't go back there, and the Jordanian people don't want you. He goes, yeah, that's how it is. So I goes, how do you pay your rent? He goes, well, on the farmland, when the season is in, we'll go and harvest the crops, that sort of stuff.
Wow.
And then I asked the interpreter, so what happens the rest of the year? And he went quiet. He didn't answer me. And I asked it again. And obviously the guy that was directing the conversation to couldn't understand English. Anyway, when we got back on the bus, I goes, bro, like, I want to know.
Yeah.
He goes, what they do is they send their daughters across.
Really?
Yeah. And I thought, wow. And you don't recognize and realize this is happening. Wow. You see what you see on TV.
That's mad.
And I thought, damn.
Wow.
Damn. Awful. And then these little things, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like my relationship with money is, I've seen a lot of money in one place. You know, I've seen 300-400K in shoe boxes in cash. You know, so I understand money and I understand what money is. I understand what it's not. It's not going to buy you happiness, of course.
No.
But my perspective changed when it comes to materialism as of that point. So, like for example, I stopped wearing my Rolex. I wear a Casio. That's what's at home.
Yeah.
Thought, who gives a shit?
Yeah. No.
So I started to disconnect from that a lot more. So that changed me. Don't get me wrong, I still like my nice things.
So you're very grounded, aren't you, as a person? Because I think you're grounded because you've been on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about raising your ceiling.
Yeah.
I believe in dropping your floor as well.
Yeah.
Why?
What do you mean by that?
So prison dropped my floor. When I was on basic, some nights when I was hungry, it was it was sucking jam out of a sachet.
So basically dropping your floor to give you value of actually the good things.
So where you actually are,
a
lot of people think their life's bad. Okay, compared to those refugees in the camp,
makes sense.
That showed me levels on the other side. So when people talk about levels, there's levels down as well.
Yeah.
Go and visit the fucking basement.
Yeah.
Then you realise where you are on the fourth
and then you're
floor.
more grateful for what you've got. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
So it just kind of changes your capacity as an individual and human being.
Mega. I've never heard that before. That's good. It's a good way to put it. So in terms of, we'll talk about, obviously that was really powerful, by the way. So we'll talk about Dubai because obviously it's a big subject. You know, everyone goes, all the online coaches fly over there for the happy life. What are your views on Dubai in terms of growing your business and everything else, the people and all that sort of stuff?
Yes, there's elements of it being able to grow your business depending what industry you're in. But for me, it grows you as an individual because you've got to remember the sort of people that go to Dubai. Yeah, people can knock them. People can say whatever.
Yeah.
But they are the elite. I'm not talking about in finances, in terms of mindset, the way that they see the world.
Yeah.
Now, when you get, I think it's 4 million population, okay, for the most part, that are there to better themselves, nobody goes to Dubai and lives there just to chill.
Yeah.
They go to better them. They go for a fucking reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you put yourself in that environment, what do you think's going to happen?
Level up.
Exactly. The conversations that you're going to have. Like, I've had people reach out to me, not in my industry, like property people, and they've linked up with me well ahead of where I am.
Yeah.
Doing numbers. Wanted to sit down with me purely because of how I come across on social media, and they can resonate.
Yeah.
You know. And I've even asked the question. I was like, I can't do nothing for you, like, because I just like you, you know. And then they'll kind of open up doors for you and give you ideas and this sort of stuff. So it's a powerful place. It does get a bad rap because people say it's pretentious, it's fake, it's manufactured, all this sort of stuff. If you could go, you would go.
I think people always say it's fake and all that stuff if you feel like you can't get there.
Yeah. If you don't add value to that place, then yeah, it's not the place for you.
Yeah.
But if you believe you can add value in a conversation to someone, help someone see something in a different way.
Yeah.
If you can lighten someone's load, if you can remove a burden, if you can get rid of a bottleneck, you've got value.
Yeah. I've been a good few times myself. I think the first time I went was with my missus neither, actually. So it was when I first did a certain milestone month and I went over there. I think it was, we just went over for an holiday. There for a week, obviously done all the stupid things really when you first start getting into money, but renting the cars and spending loads of money and all that. It was good.
Yeah.
Come back with it.
So with that sort of stuff, I kind of skipped that because I was doing that in my 20s. Like I was doing that here.
Well, I am in my 20s.
Sorry. Yeah. So I kind of got that out of my system at a young age.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think when you first see a decent amount of money, you've got to let your desires burn. You have to go and address them. You have to go buy the watch or the thing or the car or the whatever it is for you. Okay. You have to go and do that to go and experience it and think, yeah, that was the shit. That was.
Yeah.
Or wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. No, that's it. I just basically done that anyway. It was. I think it was about 24 or something. And then the next time I went over was for 2 months. So I was planning on living there. Split up with my missus, and then obviously after a couple of months, we're like, nah, I need to get back. Like, you know, no one's going to replace us, sort of thing. So, flown back, and then obviously I'm still there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been on holidays. I go there every single year.
Yeah.
But it's a different because I don't drink anymore. It's a different sort of vibe. Like before, it was very reckless, blowing money. Obviously, I had the good times and all that, but it's stupid.
Yeah.
Like even went to. Do you know Mark Coles?
Yeah.
So basically, he was my first business mentor. So he got me from like up to a certain revenue. And then he had an event over there in Dubai. And every time like I had like certain events on or certain big moments, I always used to self-sabotage with drinking or partying. I don't know why it was really, but basically I'd done that before the event and I was at the event rough. You know, I didn't even really want to be there. So just stupid things.
Why do you feel like that is? Why do you feel like you self-sabotage?
Probably stepping out the comfort zone, maybe confidence, possibly. You know, I used to think alcohol gave me confidence, but it was actually the main thing what removed the confidence. Like me being sober now, I'm the most confident I could ever be.
Yeah.
Like I used to need alcohol to do certain tasks, even from a young age. Like when you first start going out, speaking to girls, you need to get pissed before you're not out because you can't speak to a girl otherwise.
Yeah.
And then I used to do like jobs like butling a buff.
Yeah.
Obviously you need the Dutch courage to get your ass out, you know.
Yeah.
So there's all these different things. And then it just become like the normal, you know, have a drink before you do that and you feel better.
Yeah.
And you think like you're going into a person which is a better version of yourself, but it's not. You know, it's not a better version of yourself. Your better version of yourself is being yourself, being your authentic self. And I think when you're younger, really, it's the fear of judgment and the fear of failure, which controls your actions a lot. And that's why when you are younger, for a lot of people, you do daft stuff. Obviously, you're learning as well, but the older you get, the more you learn and the better choices you make, to be honest.
I think with the fear of judgment and the fear of failure, I like to look at things from a scientific standpoint.
Yeah.
So from a biological standpoint, you've got to recognize that human beings are very tribal.
Yeah.
Okay? So any sort of judgment that is ill, looking the odd one out, in the past could have got you killed.
Yeah.
And that's ingrained in our biology. But guess what? No one's killing no one because they put up a video on social media nowadays, you know, or whatever it is. But we still associate that same feeling with near death or being attacked.
Yeah.
That's why it feels like that.
Yeah.
You know, your chest tightens up and all
yeah.
that sort of stuff. And I think one of the ways that has helped me overcome that is, and this is going to sound really macabre, is familiarizing myself with the fact that I die one day.
Yeah.
Because once you familiarize yourself with death and you've seen death or you've experienced death,
Yeah.
you know, in front of you, or you've seen people like in prison, the guy next to me, 26 he was, Riley, died.
Really?
I've been on wings where 4 or 5 times where people just died.
What, just
randomly, or you know, they've overdosed, or they've had one guy. There's one guy who killed himself because he was trying to get he's putting some metal wire into the plug socket to get a spark off it, so he can smoke something. Grab the wires, fried himself.
Wow.
Yeah. So once you start understanding that fear dissolves, and the thought that you're going to be alive forever, like people live like they're never going to die, and we're not going to go anywhere, and we're not going to pass on to anywhere.
Yeah.
I think that's a very silly way to live your life.
Yeah.
And people can get down about it, you know, but it's a reality. So you either suck it up and accept it,
Yeah.
and then live your life in accordance and stop giving a fuck what people think,
Yeah.
or you remain trapped in what you believe society or your friendship circle or whoever it is that you're trying to appease. You get trapped in that cage.
I know obviously you mentioned as well, like, about your upbringing and that's why you got into crime and stuff like that. I was speaking to Nyla about this the other day, and she actually asked me the same as you, like, you know, why did you have the fear of judgment, this and that? And I think it was down to my mum, really.
Yeah.
Because my mum gave me everything because she never wanted me to get bullied, like all the freshest shoes and all that sort of stuff. And obviously it was a good thing what she was doing. Obviously she didn't want me to feel out of place, but then it was probably subconsciously in my mind that I couldn't be out of place, do you know what I mean? In a way, probably. Obviously we're playing the guessing game out now, but I sort of putting 2 and 2 together with that.
It does play a part, and I think with yourself, because you may have not been used to struggling and going without
Yeah.
and coming up short,
Yeah.
because that's character building.
Yeah.
You need to be laughed at as a kid,
Yeah.
you know, and to realize that you're not going to die if somebody does it.
Yeah.
You know, and if that's never happened to you as an adult, you're going to feel that the most. You know.
Well,
So-
that was all the way, like, growing up, really.
Yeah.
You know, before any event. Because the one thing about me is I'm a risk taker and I always like to do new things. So that's a positive trait, really.
Yeah.
You know, that's why obviously I've made it where I am today. And I don't really overthink too many things. I'd rather do it than think I need to do it perfect. So it does get you further, doesn't it? Because a lot of people, they can, you know, contemplate about doing the thing and, you know, well, they end up doing nothing, do they, really?
They do fuck all, they overthink it, you know, and fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
That's the best policy 99% of the time.
Yeah.
Because you always find out.
Yeah.
You always find out.
Sometimes you might find out the hard way.
Yeah, but you still find out.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lesson you either win or you learn.
There's always lessons, isn't there? So in terms of, because we're going to like the business side, in terms of your business, what do you actually do? Like, what does it entail? Is it mentoring coaches to scale, or is it something different?
Yeah, so it's essentially it's mentoring, is what's working for me. And one of the key things I believe in the coaching industry, in the mentorship industry, nobody takes a look at your delivery. Okay. So the first thing we take a look at is, obviously we've got personal brand and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
But one of the first things is like, what is it that you deliver?
Yeah.
Because there's not a gold standard. There's not a test you've got to pass to come into the industry. You can just say, listen, I'm an online coach now, or I'm a mentor or a consultant, and you can come and do the thing. Are you with me?
Yeah.
And I've been in mentorships like yourself before. Very few, I'm going to say none of them, looked at your delivery method. Are you good at what you do? Is your process easy and enjoyable to follow? Is it user friendly? All these things matter, because we get caught up in thinking about marketing and sales all the time. But have you actually got something that's worth shouting
Well,
about?
you can't grow if the machine's not right.
Exactly. So it comes back to that. So that's one of the things that we do. So essentially what I do is I help you build, market, and sell your coaching or mentorship service.
Is it like fitness, or is it any business?
Anything. So I've got guys who have got 7-figure home care businesses. They're getting into the mentoring space. I've got people who are in the hair and beauty space who are getting into education and educating others. I've got fitness coaches. I've got electricians who are mentoring, you know.
Would you say like every business runs the same then, and it's like the same principles for any business? Because I feel like it is.
Yeah, I mean, what is a business? Tell people about your shit
Yeah.
and they buy,
Yeah.
you know, and deliver it.
It's all the same things what you need to work on to make it grow. It's just a different genre.
Yeah. But essentially what I help people do is, like I said, get into the coaching and mentoring space, or if they are already in there, then I help them improve what they're delivering. One of the key things though is personal brand. A lot of people, and I've met like really, really, really successful people that understand the importance of having a personal brand, but once again, fear of judgment, fear of failure.
Well, you've not got a personal brand if you've got fear of judgment, because you're scared what to post.
Yeah.
So it's when you've got no judgment, that's when, because it's personal brand, obviously everyone goes on about it like it's some fancy thing. It's just being yourself online. It's as simple as that.
This is the problem though, Clint. The majority of people don't know themselves.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So and then, because that's what I used to do. So basically, when I was growing up, say, 16, 17, 18, I grew up on Geordie Shore watching that. And, that was like, because I always wanted to be something. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I always wanted to be something. So I grew up watching this. So I thought, oh, that'll be good, being famous, being on TV. So I did go on a couple of shows, but I was trying to act how people thought, I needed to be like what they like. So I used to act like them, getting pissed all the time with the women and all that sort of stuff. But then that's why when I took the alcohol away and the partying was just normal, like chilled, caring, I've got all the good traits. Obviously, everyone's got negative traits as well, but got some good traits. That's really who I am. Do you know what I mean? So when you stop wearing the mask and stop trying to act like you want people to like you, then you start to grow, because at the end of the day, everyone in the world's not going to like you. And you don't...
They don't need to.
It doesn't matter about people not liking you anyway, because the chances are you don't like them as well. Because liking someone, it's just seeing a little bit of you in them.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. And I mean, I think with the whole liking thing, me personally, because I understand the game, I no longer think about liking or disliking someone.
Yeah.
I might dislike what they say or what they do, but I don't dislike the person or like the person. It's a case of understanding the person. So, for example, you could say something outlandish that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
But then the way that I think, and not many people think like this, I know, and it's probably come down to the fact that I've been around different sorts of people from different walks of life, at the top and at the bottom. I can stand on the street corner tomorrow, or I can be in a boardroom the next day, and I wouldn't be out of place. But understanding the person is key. I think, okay, what makes him believe that, or what makes him think that, what made him say that? Because you can't understand someone and judge someone at the same time.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
Yeah.
And I've been through all that shit with judging people. We all go through it,
Yeah.
You're looking at the next man or the next girl or whatever, and there's a lot of judgment going on.
Yeah.
But I think there comes a point in somebody's life, if most people don't actually get there, where you remove judgment and you think, okay, I'm going to understand people. I think as a coach, where you are dealing with people, having that as a part of your skill set is super important, man.
Yeah.
So most people do need to like you or need to have that sort of connection with you.
Yeah.
But with going back to the initial point around personal brand, you got to know yourself, and the only way you get to know yourself is when you spend time away, when you isolate to some extent.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these business owners that we're talking about, they're in a performative mode all the time. They've got to be the strong individual in front of everyone, to resolving everyone's problems and having their shit together. That's who they believe that they need to be.
Yeah.
But as we know, authenticity is not that.
Yeah.
Authenticity is about
It's
sharing.
the cracks, innit?
Yeah. The perfect imperfections.
Yeah.
As I say.
Challenges.
Yeah. So that's what's challenging for most of them.
Yeah.
So I do get it.
Because I think that's what was challenging for me as well. Like, obviously, you go into the fear of judgment like years ago, and you just think you're going down a peg in the world if you're not perfect or near perfect.
Yeah.
So that can be a lot of challenge for a lot of people, can't it, really?
100%.
So in terms of, your biggest growth drivers for moving your own business forward, what would you say you lean towards the most in terms of your self-development? If you were starting from scratch again, what would you focus on the most? And I know you probably wouldn't change your journey because it's made you who you are.
Yeah. So are you asking that question if I was to give advice to somebody just starting off?
Yeah.
Okay. The first piece of advice would be, are we talking about online, right?
Yeah.
Get over yourself.
Yeah.
Get over yourself. Like, you ain't a superstar. Nobody's watching you that hard.
Yeah.
Once you remove that, you start to move a bit more freely. And then you will try things. You will get on camera. You will do these things.
Yeah.
Once you've got over that, is like really understand within yourself who you want to be within the marketplace. And we all start with body transformation.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And we'll take anyone on.
Yeah. True.
And that's fine, because you need some sort of cash flow to incentivize you to continue to do the work. Understandable. Once you've got through that phase, whether it's your first 5 or 10 clients, then really think about who is it that I really want to work with. And the 3 boxes that you've got to tick with me is, do you like the people? Do you get on with them? Okay. The second one is, are you qualified to help that certain individual? And number 3, have they got the money to pay you? Okay. Because if one of those is missing, you're either going to have no money, you're going to hate the people that you're working with. So they're the 3 criteria. Once you've nailed that down, build the thing. And I'm massive on this. I always say, build it once, sell it forever. Yeah. Build the thing that is going to resolve their problems on a specific manner, but also keeps it light for you.
Yeah.
Because, you probably at this place as well, you've been there, where you've got a shitload of clients, you're just sitting there, loom after loom. You're on your phone, you're continuously answering messages. That style of coaching, in my opinion, builds dependency.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually coach the person. There's a very fine line between instruction and coaching. Coaching is question-based leadership by definition. Okay? So what you need to do, and going back to what we said before, is you need to teach them how to think.
Yeah.
To the point where they aren't dependent on you as much. And that's when you created real change. Regardless of whether you're in fitness, mindset, business, relationships, whatever. You need to create that agency within the individual to actually be a good coach.
I always say that.
Yeah.
It's true, because if you're just teaching people how to follow a plan, they've not made a lifestyle change.
They haven't.
It's not long term. And, I've had clients, and I'm sure you have as well, where they've worked with you for a year and then they leave. They think, I can do it on my own.
And they come back.
And then they'll come back sometimes, but they can do it on their own. Then you're scrolling through Instagram.
They're fucked again.
And then they're back out of shape again. You think you've completely wasted your time and money. And then he said, everything what I learned from you, I'm going to take it away. What are you taking away for? The fridge? Like, do you know what I mean? You've not took anything away. You've just went back to what you was.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing about coaching for me, when someone goes back.
That responsibility lands on us.
Yeah.
That lands on us, because we failed as coaches there.
Yeah.
We've got to take that on the chin.
Yeah.
And people say, you should be retaining your clients for X amount of time. Yeah, embodied transformation of bodybuilding, yes. Eventually, I want my clients to fuck off.
Yeah.
I want to get them to where they need to be and continue to use whatever I'll give them. I want them to fuck off. That's the nature of the game. Unless, like I said, business is slightly different, because you can always scale further and further and further. But anything that involves, mindset or habit change or anything like that, at some point it needs to stick.
It's one of them, obviously, when you say, like, it's on us that they failed and stuff. What do you mean by that? Because obviously, if you was coaching someone for a year and it was all good with you, and if they've lost the weight,
you've instructed them, you haven't coached them.
What do you mean by that? Oh?
So instructing them is, you've taught them to follow a plan.
Yeah.
You've not taught them how to think.
Yeah.
As a coach, by definition, a coach teaches people how to think.
So sometimes the thinking takes longer than the time.
It's a lot, yeah. So that's why you need a client for 18 months, maybe 2 years.
But then it's their choice if they want to part ways, isn't it?
Yeah, no, and you can't do nothing about that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, in that time, there needs to be some sort of mindset shift or a belief shift or a habit shift that sticks. You need to essentially brainwash them into becoming better.
I always say brainwashing to positivity, but it's everyone's got the time, haven't they? It's like, look at how long we've been on this journey for. It's not been a year, has it? Do you know what I mean? It's not been 2 years.
Yeah.
It's still learning about myself now. You learn about yourself every year, and that's what I mean. You can't really force people to stay, can you? Just up to them. And I think a lot of people, they do get to a certain point where, they've lost a lot of weight, they're building new relationships, they feel happy, they're in routine, they feel like, oh, I can do it on my own now. The next thing, obviously, they go to picture one again.
Yeah.
It's like,
but that's a part of their journey.
Yeah.
Going back to square one is a part of their journey.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely fine too.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there have been times where your parents or somebody's told you not to do something in the past.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I know better.
Yeah.
And what happens? You get egg on your face.
Yeah.
So that's a part of
Egg on your face.
That's a part of the learning process for a lot of people.
There was one habit what I had for ages. So basically, when I started gym, this is taught by my dad, by the way, and he's trained for 45 years, but that was his belief. So every time you had like a holiday or Christmas coming up, you'd stop training. So every single November, like start of December, every year, I used to get in great shape by December. Every single December, I used to just go back to waste man habits, the takeaways, the drinking, the chilling, hit and miss gym sessions. Every single January, I was in the worst shape of my life, feeling down. And I had that repetitive cycle for like 3 or 4 years. And then Nyla, when I first started seeing her, she always used to eat clean.
Yeah.
why are you doing that? Why don't you just get in better shape than you've ever been before? And I thought, yeah. And then obviously I had to install that new belief because, you know, your belief is just based on evidence, innit? Do you know what works? So it was about installing that. So you can always learn, can't you? And same as when, you know, you used to go on the all-inclusive holidays with mum and dad. It was just drinking from morning till night, you know, the British culture. When you go on holiday and stuff, Benidorm and all these sort of things. And I remember, like, one of my ex-girlfriends, she was from Amsterdam. So she was like, why do British people, when they go on holiday, just drink?
Get tanked up, yeah.
I said, that's what it's there for, isn't it? And I thought she was weird because she didn't drink when she was away. And this was back in the IB for days and all that. But now looking back, I think, yeah, it's not about that. You know, it's about making memories. Like most of the holidays I've had, I can't even remember them, you know, in the past.
Yeah, I think with any sort of substance, any sort of addiction, really, it's an escape from reality, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I've looked into addiction, and you must be familiar with the experiment that they did with a rat, and they gave it 2 bottles of water, one with normal water and one laced with cocaine. And they put this rat in this cage, and the rat overdosed on the cocaine bottle. But that wasn't a fair experiment. They put a different rat, obviously the other one's dead. They got a different rat, same 2 bottles of water, one laced with cocaine, one normal. But this time they put its family in there, they put toys in there, they put things. It didn't go to the cocaine bottle once. Why? Because it had purpose, it had a project to work on, it had family, had an intimate relationship, had connection, it had wealth, if that's what you class as wealth.
Yeah.
It had health.
Yeah.
So when you take that away from somebody, they then form a bond with something else. And this was evident to me when I was in prison. So in prison, you'd see guys come into jail, normal guys, they'd run someone over and kill them by accident or something like that, right?
Yeah.
They'd come into prison and they'd have a good job, misses, kids, the lot. And within a few months, they're smoking drugs.
Yeah.
Why? Because that bond, the job, all that has been taken away from them.
Yeah.
But then you'd see a smackhead come into prison and he'd fix up, he'd get in shape.
Yeah.
He would have a job, he'd have some money on his canteen. Why? Because he found a purpose.
Yeah.
So strip that away from a man.
That's true, that.
Yeah.
It's like,
you connect with something else. So that could be anything. That could be your phone. That could be drugs, vaping, porn, sex, all these sorts of things. All that is a bond that you formed with something because another bond in your life is missing.
Yeah.
So people think addiction is some chemical thing that happens in your brain. No, the actual addiction is a replacement for a bond.
Yeah.
Think about it. When you've been injured right before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tore my chest last year.
Yeah. So there you go. When you were injured, were you using your phone more?
Can't really remember, to be honest.
You would have. You probably would have been.
Was.
You probably did something that replaced the training for you.
Well, it's dopamine, isn't it? You crave dopamine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got my old best mate.
Yeah.
You know, we sort of grew apart because he always wanted to go out drinking every single weekend, and I wanted to get my training up. And this was when I was a best mate since year 9 in school, so it's a long relationship.
Yeah.
You know, we planned the future together, traveling and all that. You know, I was still class my brother now, even though I don't speak to him. But somewhere along the line, obviously, we separated, and I always felt like I was born for something greater, so I always wanted to try things to improve my life, find my purpose. You know, I found my purpose when I started acting physiques, but I always looking for that thing. And obviously you try different things like going on the telly and all that sort of stuff. And going to Ibiza as well, doing seasons, thinking freedom. And, you know, you think that's your purpose, but it's not. Obviously you don't know your purpose till you find your true purpose. But long story short is, he never found his. He's a cocaine addict now. Do you know what I mean? I don't even speak to him anymore. And yeah, it's sad, yeah. So it's one of them. He's just in that cycle, and the separation happened when he wanted to go out drinking all the time. I wanted to go to the gym. I didn't mind going out for a drink with him. I didn't want it to be a repetitive thing where, because I was stuck on 100 kilo bench for about 2 years. I wanted to get to 105. Do you know what I mean? I don't want the drink runs you down, doesn't it? So that's how it sort of separated. And then obviously he's took the wrong turn on it now.
Yeah,
so
he was looking for something.
Yeah.
Whatever that was, I don't know. And I always ask people when they've got not an addiction, but, you know, they're doing a behavior that isn't aligned with what they say they want. I always ask them the question, like, what's actually missing in your life?
Yeah.
And we'll find it.
Yeah.
We'll find it 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
We'll find it. Whether things aren't good with the missus, or money's not great, or, you know, there's something.
It's like it's a cure, in it. So it's not a cure. It's like they're finding the cure, they're replacing the dopamine, like I say. And
yeah.
it's making them feel good at the time, but then it's like the thing what makes you feel good destroys you in the end.
Yeah. So it's Actually, it's not the dopamine, it's serotonin. When you've got those things
Yeah.
I mentioned, the family and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
and it's actually serotonin.
Yeah.
Dopamine acts quite differently. Serotonin is released when you have to work for the thing. Dopamine's released when it's like it's an instant high.
Yeah.
You know, serotonin is like slow release, if you want to think of it, like slow release carbohydrates.
Yeah,
You want to think of it that
yeah.
way, right? So it works slightly different, but they do the same sort of thing. It's a good feeling that you get.
Yeah.
The thing with the short-term gratification, that can ruin you. And I've seen it ruin so many people, you know? Imagine in your life, and my life, this is just as much as it is to me, that we cut our screen time down by 50%.
Yeah.
How much time will you get back? If you pour that into your business, into your
Wow.
health, and it'd change your motherfucking life.
Yeah. It's good that's why obviously I got you on here today, because I like you going into things. But when you say dopamine and serotonin, so dopamine, is that the quick fix?
Yeah, because
So that's like obviously cocaine, beer,
yeah,
e-cigs, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
innit?
when you go, so for example, if you read a book
Yeah.
and you finish your chapter,
So that's serotonin.
that's serotonin.
Yeah,
You
so-
see how that hits different though?
It does it well different, and it's higher and it's longer as well.
Yeah.
And you feel great.
But you have to work for it.
Yeah.
It comes when you complete
That's
a task.
what I get with business.
Yeah. When you complete a task, that's what you get.
And
With
that's what actually happened with me. So sorry to interrupt there, but
cool.
I'm starting to learn more things in it, so it's good. But that's what happened to me when I first started doing good with a business. I used to get the serotonin after I had a good week in sales. So then I would reward myself with dopamine, which was going on a night out, treating my friends. You know, all
yeah.
them.
So what you would do there, and I had a client like this actually,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to mention his name, but he'd had a record month and then blasted himself over the weekend.
Yeah.
And what I advise him to do next time is go and get more serotonin. And the way you would get more serotonin, take the missus out, take the kids out, go for a family meal, go for a little break for the weekend instead.
Yeah.
Because it's not destructive.
Yeah.
It's not something that's going to fuck with you,
Yeah.
you mentally, you know? So the way that you get the high kind of
Dictates the response.
Yeah. So
yeah.
that's gonna kind of give you that long-term satisfaction.
It's-
And it's more wholesome, innit?
Yeah, of course, but it's all about learning. Like I'm going back in, years, when in my early 20s, when obviously I was going through that, and I only started to learn over say these last 3 years why I was doing them habits.
Yeah.
Really, because life's for learning, isn't it?
Yeah. It all stems from your childhood, and I've been on looking into my childhood and
Yeah.
all these sorts of things recently, and previously I've kind of shunned away the idea that you need to do this work and really look at understanding why you are the way that you are. I used to think that you just are the way that you are and that's it, and you can't do nothing about it, or you're wired slightly different and from other people. But once again, it comes back to that understanding,
Yeah.
not just other people but yourself. And to do that, you do have to go with certain shit,
Yeah.
because what got me here is not going to get me to the next level.
Yeah.
There's stuff that's holding me back.
New levels, new devils.
Exactly. So I need to get rid of those devils. I need to remove those devils,
Yeah.
So I've started to look into that, and it's crazy how much your childhood has a effect on the way that you operate as an adult. And unfortunately, we don't choose our childhood.
No.
We don't choose at that age, Anything under 7 is your formative years.
Yeah.
And that becomes pattern recognition, even up until the point where, say, for example, something happened to you or you had experience and you can't remember it.
Yeah.
Even if you can't remember it, your body in that moment would have given a response, and that will repeat and repeat and
100%,
repeat.
yeah.
So even if you can't remember the thing that caused it,
Yeah.
it's ingrained.
Yeah.
You've been programmed.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
with
yeah.
me?
Because you found evidence for it.
Yeah. Well, even if you don't know the evidence,
Yeah.
even if you don't know the evidence, like for example, if you were, I don't know, a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old, and every time you did something, I flinched at you.
I'll
and I
give
made
you an example at one,
Go on.
which I can remember. So there was a dog on my street, and it was a massive dog.
Yeah.
What is it, Great Dane or something like that? The
Like
biggest one.
Scooby-Doo's.
Yeah, a big
Scooby-Doo's.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how old it was. I was probably about 9, 10.
Yeah.
And it jumped up and put its full knife around my head. But I think it was only playing. It
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
like attack me.
Yeah, we could take
But
your
then
head
I've
clean off.
always been hesitant around going too close to dogs still now.
Yeah.
Even when I was talking about getting the face dinted,
Yeah.
because the guy run up behind me, I had, every time I was walking, even on my own, I was paranoid.
Twitching, yeah.
I was paranoid about even a runner.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, fucking hell, do you know what I mean? So it does ingrain you, and it's, you know, it can hold you back on before. But my upbringing was absolutely great. You know, I got everything. But as I was mentioning before, even that it can change your habits.
It's not necessarily good or bad. It's not great or not great.
It's lessons in it.
It's just what it was.
Yeah.
And we just have to recognize that has an effect on how we operate.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, you had everything great, but there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
You know, so, and unfortunately, when we're born, our parents aren't given manuals on how to be the perfect parent. It just doesn't work like that. There's going to be mistakes.
Yeah.
But like I said, when we're talking about performance as an adult, we've got to look into this shit.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get that 1% better, or that, you know, 0.5% better,
Yeah.
you need to look into this stuff, because every thing that you understand or you can tap into becomes an advantage. You know, so
Yeah, I think that the lesson there, to put it plain and simple, is the more you know and understand why, then the more you can move forward, can't you? It's just about being aware of it, innit?
yeah.
Same as if you're teaching someone, the more you make them aware, they're understanding, the more knowledge you give them, the more they'll change their thinking.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of other things you want to go through while I've got you on here? Is there anything you want to ask me or go through, or are you a blank canvas?
I'm blank. You just run with it, bro.
All right, yeah. So we was going on about upbringings, prison, business. What's next for you? You know, what's the next part of your mission?
The next part of my mission is continue to grow my coaching.
Yeah.
I will be moving to Dubai later this year.
Nice.
I just find that it's a place for me. So a bit of context around this. When I got nicked, and as part of my sentence, they give you something called the proceeds of crime order, which is if your crime is for financial gain, which mine was, it was obviously drugs, they then give you a figure that they believe that you benefited from committing said crime. Mine was just under 300K. So if I come into money, if I buy property, if I do anything, you know, like my business isn't even on my name, okay?
Wow.
They can come for it. And I tested the waters in 2024. So I was paying myself out the business just enough for my bills. But I thought, okay, let's pay myself a bit extra. Let that stack up.
Yeah.
It was 12,000 and something pound I had in my account, my personal account. Gone to check it one morning, nothing in there.
Wow.
Then I had rung up the bank. They said something about, you know, the police being involved. Then I had a letter through the door saying that's been knocked off your confiscation order. So I thought, okay, I can't really move whilst I'm here, can I?
No.
I can't really do anything. So even when I got out of prison, I couldn't go get a phone on contract. I couldn't do nothing. So I've had to do everything like the hard way, which is fine. It makes for a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for you to go over there, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that's kind of the next steps for me on that front. And that's it, man. I just want to continue to help people, improve people's lives.
Yeah.
And continue to give back ultimately, whether it's from my short form content or podcasts like this, like any medium that I can do that on, or any level I can do that on, I will continue to do, because when you do find your purpose and you do find your calling and you do find the thing that you're good at, that then becomes your passion.
Yeah.
You have to have those things. People think that passion comes before all of those. No, passion is a byproduct of those, being competent in something. So I believe I'm truly competent in this.
You have to be good at it first, I think. It's like me when I was in school, when I was good at drawing. I loved art because I was good at it.
Yeah.
You know, I was best drawing in the school.
Yeah.
So I was good at it. So I enjoyed it because, you know, you're getting a round of applause for being good at something, aren't you? And that's the same as when I made Active Physiques. Obviously, it was called Active Clint back then, but I sell plans for £10. I didn't know where it was going to go, but it was the first time in my life where I actually made something myself and I got a response from it, which was positive. So it makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it comes back to what you said there is really, really poignant. It comes back to creation. I think we get the best buzz from creating something out of nothing, getting an idea from our mind and bringing it into reality to the point where you have positive feedback from others, not just for the feedback's sake, the fact that it has an effect on somebody else.
Yeah.
That's where that high comes from, is the fact that you had an idea that helped.
Yeah.
And if you can manufacture that, which we can manufacture that, by the way, it's super important. That's exactly why, once again, let's create your fucking program. Let's create your process first. Because once you've got that in place and you built it with your heart.
Yeah.
You built it. You've took everything up here and you put it into a service, and you can teach it to people. You
Yeah.
show it with a different sort of energy. You will shout about your
Defo.
thing from the fucking hilltops, and
Yeah.
people feel that fucking energy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting buzzed up now talking about it.
Yeah,
You know,
defo.
people feel that energy, and you cannot fake energy.
No.
You simply can't,
Nah, you can't.
because your body gives you away. There's micro expressions that you're going to have. You might
Yeah.
blink a little bit more.
Yeah.
Your words might come out different, or you might twitch or whatever.
Yeah.
That gives you away,
Yeah.
even on a screen, even on
Yeah.
a phone screen. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's it. That's why you can, even when you're on like calls and stuff, you can sense their energy even if they're not next to you.
Yeah.
You know, you just feel a different way, don't you? So it's one of them.
You do.
In terms of like upcoming events, you know, collaborations, what you've got, you know, next big things.
I've got nothing in the pipeline at the moment.
All right.
So I do. So part of what I do, we put on a in-person event every quarter. So we've got.
Where's that at?
So that is going to be in Stone, and that's mainly going to be around mindset.
Stone.
Yeah, Staffordshire.
All right.
Yeah. The last one we did was a bit more of an active one, which is completely unrelated to what we do. So I got some of the lads with some Marines.
Yeah.
And we just got beasted for the whole day.
Yeah.
Purely because I wanted to do it. So
Yeah.
I thought, fuck it, everyone's doing it. So yeah, I'm putting on events, workshops all the time.
Yeah.
I do a workshop every month. This month's workshop was delivered by a guy called Reese, and he was teaching us how to public speak for social media. So I like to do stuff like that, stuff that's actually skill based and tangible.
Yeah.
That improves the person, that they can go away and run with it. And if I can't teach it, somebody else will.
Makes you stand out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You always want to do the extra, don't you? Because then you're more valuable then.
Yeah, for sure. What about yourself?
What have I got coming up?
Yeah.
So I know I spoke to you about the mindset event. I've not really got a date planned there. I've got my first mentorship event on the 20th of this month. That's at the Crown Plaza in Manchester. I've got 2 podcasts already booked in with like different people. Peter G is one of them.
Yeah.
And then some business owner from Nottingham. Can't remember his name, but he's been asking me, so I'm excited for that one. Got the retreat in Marbella.
Yeah.
So that's on the 31st of July to like the 4th.
Nice.
But I am going to go to Marbella from the start. When you're on about moving to Dubai, I'm moving to Marbella next year.
Yeah.
I just love Spain. I love the culture. I love the people. It's only 2 hours from home, so
Yeah.
it's I'm a family man, me really. I'm a mummy's boy, and obviously I love my dad as well. Get on with him, so I want to be a place where I can, go to him quick and see him often still, because they're not around forever, like you mentioned there about death. Just trying to think what else. I always have an NDA sort of staff party. That's at Tattoo in Manchester, private room and all that sort of stuff. Gonna film it all. We've got a photo shoot on the 15th of August. I'll probably VR all day.
Yeah, you've got a lot going on.
I've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Non-stop, because I believe like to actually raise your vibration, you need to have things to look good forward to. So you always need to have something to look forward to raise your vibration and keep moving forward. Otherwise, you'll get distracted with life. It might be thinking about what you've not got, lack, all them sort of negative feelings. So you can easily get into the cycle. That's why I think the biggest thing what's helped me is plan the next best thing.
Yeah.
And then you can strive towards that. It takes away the distractions and you reach where you want to get to a lot faster.
Setting goals is super important, man, because I think people kind of wing it, and you ask them what they want from life and they don't know, and that for me blows my fucking mind. It's like, you're doing this for what? And they don't know. So I'm like, okay, let's figure that out first.
It's like, I don't know if you've got certain targets for people in terms of like, a certain niche or anything like that, but it's like when you want to focus on, let's just say a revenue figure, number. Say if you want to get to 50k, 100k, 150, whatever it is, when you focus on it too much, you're actually adding resistance towards getting to it because you're focusing on lack, So that's actually dragging you away. So instead of focusing on that, you need to focus on different steps, connections, people you can meet, activities you can do, impact you can make. And then that's really the secret to moving forward fast. And that's the biggest thing what I changed last year in terms of me moving forward, focus on myself. I didn't start planning targets thinking, I want to get to 50k, I want to get to 60k. I just focused on myself, worked on myself. And then that energy, it was contagious. People watch my stuff and be like, oh, do you want to meet me here? Do you want to do a session here?
Yeah.
Do you want to do this? Do you want to come on this podcast? And then next thing you're like,
I'm
already there.
Yes, it's the other way around. People focus on the number instead of the person that you've got to become.
Yeah.
And I know it's cheesy and I know it gets thrown out there a lot.
Though, isn't it?
But develop the individual and everything else falls in line.
Yeah, I always say that to clients, like they want to, because mine is like, the road to the 10k plus. I always ask them, like, are you acting like someone who owns a 10K business right now with your habits, behaviors, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, your mindset? The answer is going to be no, or you would be there already.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the easiest way to give you some realization to actually move forward into.
Yeah. You've got to make them aware of the gap, because a lot of the time people think that they're operating at a higher level than what they actually are. They don't understand the levels, and creating that gap in their mind and bringing that to their attention makes them realize, you know what? There's so much more I could be doing. There's so much more I'm actually capable of. More importantly. And then that gets the ball moving.
I think once you've got the basics right with a business, it's not about, you know, different funnels and all this shit what people sell. You see all the business coaches online selling bullshit, don't they? Saying, sign up today and I'll give you 20 leads and you don't need to pay for a thing until you get paid. It's like, who's going to fall for that? It's a load of crap.
Yeah, I think people have got tired, especially in the coaching space. Like, you've heard it, you know, trust is low. I think having a promise that you deliver on beats a extreme promise that you can't deliver on.
Yeah.
People just want what they're paid for.
But it's people. A lot of people fall for it though, and then, well, they come to me and you. You've probably had loads of clients come to you. Oh yeah, like a bit hesitant before signing up to you. Like, I had a message today. I had a business mentor 2 years ago. Well, why have you not had one for 2 years? That's the big question. It's because you got burnt from the last one, innit? Do you know what I mean? So it's happening all the time. You know, because you can stick anything on your bio. And just say, I am this.
It's exactly that. And I think as well, one thing that I do, and it works really well, is at the 30-day mark, we'll have a review. And we both decide together if we want to continue to work together.
That's good.
Purely because, say, for example, your habits aren't in place. Like, there's nothing I can do for you. I can train you, I can help you with that, I can coach you on that. But by day 30, we're here for a business outcome, right? We're here to increase what you're earning, right? Now, if I feel like you're just off, I'm going to say to you, thank you very much. We're still mates, but until you fix this, there's no point continuing this. And vice versa, they got an opportunity to kind of opt out, you know? And that reduces the anxiety and I've been burnt. And also
good, that.
And also protects the reputation as well.
Yeah, that's really good. It's good. I've never heard anyone do that before.
It's like I said to you, the money will come with your reputation. And I'd rather have somebody go away and say, he told me I need to go fix this before we continue. It just lands so much better to anyone hearing that about you, because they get an understanding of what you're really about. It's a slower build, don't get me wrong. It's easy to jump at the cash and think, you know what, I could take this guy's money or whatever, knowing what you know and keeping it quiet. That's what's give the mentoring or coaching space a bad name. Like money grabbing people. We didn't get into it for that. Like, if I wanted the money, I'd be selling drugs still. Loads of them. You know, that's the truth. But it's not about that, because I've understood the game of life to some extent. I'm not saying I'm, you know, a master at it, but I understand the big picture. You've definitely smashed it a lot in your life though, so well done. And is there any final words you want to give to the audience who are watching right now? Any pieces of magic? Ooh. You put me on the spot here, Clint. Fucking hell, you put me on the spot.
It's all right.
Wrap that up different. Because I can't think right now.
All right, so I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. I hope you've learned some things. How have you found it?